perhaps now.
Yes.
Computers and me, that's not always, we're not the best friends. So with regard to the health aspects, on this specific case, in particular regarding the legislation of these pesticides, we're talking here about neonicotinoids. We can only invite you to contact the Bulgarian authorities. It's them who are responsible for the implementation and enforcement of EU bans in the area of these products. But I'd like to stress, though, that the Commission takes a very cautious approach, the most cautious approach possible to protect bees. We therefore closely monitor the relations between bee health and pesticides. We have taken a very strong commitment there by severely restricting or even banning the use of plant protection products containing some of these neonicotinoids. As far as the agriculture aspects are concerned, I indeed believe that Daniel has more to say.
Thank you indeed. So now I pass the floor to Daniel for the other aspects.
Hi, good afternoon. Indeed, just to complement from the Common Agricultural Policy side what Stefan just said, what I can add is that the rules regarding the CAP payments are very, very clear. A beneficiary of subsidies committing an infringement against key EU directives and regulations relative to the farming activity may see its subsidies reduced or withdrawn depending on the severity of the infringement. This is the case in particular for the EU legislation on pesticides, including the use of only authorized active substances that Stefan just mentioned. Also, this possible consequence regarding CAP subsidies is without prejudice of any specific penalty decided on the basis of the specific pesticides legislation. But then again, it is the responsibility of the national authorities to implement the legislation, the European legislation, and in particular the pesticides legislation, as well as the Common Agricultural Policy legislation and its cross-compliance system that I just explained. And should an illegal use of a substance be confirmed, then, as I explained, the beneficiary can see his subsidies being withdrawn or reduced depending on the severity of the case as established internally.
Georgi, I believe you have a follow-up.
That's right. Thank you very much, Daniel. It's clear. However, I would like to know, is the Commission aware there seems to be one big company concerned. Its name is Octopus Invest Group, using allegedly those banned substances. Are you aware how much EU subsidies they are getting? I tried to find out myself, but the website set by the Bulgarian authorities is so complicated that you have to be a hacker, to find out what's inside. So I couldn't. So perhaps maybe the Commission knows better. I would also like to raise the issue of the tremendous difficulties of proving in court issues such as the use of prohibited substances, and therefore perhaps without abusing the Commission services, but also know on the Justice and Home Affairs side, if there is awareness about how difficult it is for bee producers to have, to have a fair trial after they suffer such tremendous losses.
Daniel.
Regarding the final beneficiaries of CAP funds, indeed, as you explained, it's up to the national authorities to publish the list in full transparency of those beneficiaries, and this information is publicly available. And what I can tell you is that, as explained in the article that triggered your questions, the owner of the companies mentioned in the article indeed received EU funding of around 11 million euros in 2019. This is publicly available information. What I also want to stress is that this is one factual element. The other is the allegations in the article about the use of these substances, and this I would refer back to what Stefan explained. It's first and foremost for the relevant national authorities to establish whether indeed there is a violation of the EU legislation in this field, and then to follow up and act in conformity.
And obviously, Georgi, we do not comment on individual court cases. Obviously, the European Union and the Commission in particular take, as you know, a keen interest in the rule of law in all member states. And we have announced that we will be putting in place a mechanism to study this, to analyze this on an annual basis. But this is different from commenting on individual court cases. On the issue of the amount of subsidies that are received by any company, let me just remind you of a basic principle when it comes to publication. Subsidies which are received through what we call direct management, centralized management, that is to say where it is the Commission that hands out the money directly, are published on the Commission's own website called the FTS, the Financial Transparency System, and therefore I think that is the case for the first pillar of the CAP, unless I'm mistaken. So I would encourage you to go to the Financial Transparency System website and to search there based on the name of the company that you have identified.